Okay, go ahead.
Hi, I'm here with my grandpa, Lee Rasmussen, and I'm here to interview him. So, tell us about growing up.
Well, I was born in Murray, Utah, and I grew up and went to school in the Murray schools, attending Murray High School, and grew up in this area here and in Granger, Utah, where we had a farm.
Where, okay, what did your parents do for work?
Well, my father was a fireman with the Salt Lake County Fire Department. In fact, he was the fourth full-paid fireman that was ever employed in Salt Lake County. And my mother worked at a grocery store. She was a comptroller for when she passed away for Smith's Food King.
What did you want to be when you were a boy my age?
When I was your age, I wanted to be a fireman, but my dad didn't want me to be a fireman. But I wanted to be a fireman or a cowboy.
How did you become an FBI agent?
Well, after I graduated from college, I taught school for a number of years, and I needed to make more money, so I applied for a job with the FBI. And as that, there were certain requirements that I met, and you had to have a college education, you had to have 3 years administrative work, and you had to pass the intelligence test that the FBI gave you, as well as a background of your life to see that you had never violated any laws, that you'd always paid your bills, that you were of good moral character, and so forth.
What type of crimes did you fight when you were a field agent?
Well, I worked in the criminal division. There are two divisions in the FBI. There's a foreign counterintelligence division, and there's a criminal division. And when I was in the criminal division, I worked all various types of crimes. I started off working bail jumpers. That's people who have been to court, posted bail, and then go back to court. And I worked bank robbers and escaped federal prisoners and unlawful flight to avoid prosecution and those types of criminal cases.
Name the most dangerous situation you've encountered.
Well, I guess probably the most dangerous situation was one night in investigating a kidnapping case when we got an idea where the little girl was that had been kidnapping, and going to the hotel where they were holding her and going through the door at the hotel to get her free.
Looking back on your career, what was the most rewarding part of being an FBI agent?
Well, I think that probably the most rewarding part was the fact that to know that you were helping people. You know, there were a lot of people that, particularly on some cases like kidnapping or extortion, or people who had money stolen from them or stuff, helping them. And the other rewarding part was the people that you worked with. All the FBI agents were very high quality and high caliber and enjoyable people to work with.
Did you ever arrest anyone famous?
Well, I don't know how famous they were. I arrested a mayor of a town one day, and he was pretty famous in his own town. I arrested a man named John DeLorean, who designed the car, the DeLorean that was used in the movie Back to the Future. And let's see, I also arrested one time a individual who was a pro sports player. I won't tell you his name now because it's not that important.
Would you share with us your favorite story from all the years of being an FBI agent?
Well, I don't know that it's a big story, but there was one young fellow that I arrested 5 times. His name was Ricky Mundy, and he was a deserter from the military. And I arrested him the first time. I had to run him down a railroad track and took him back to the military, and he ran away from the military again, or went AWOL. And that time he went out the back window and ran away, and we caught him again. The third time that we caught him at his girlfriend's house, and we had a fight with him that day and trying to get him in handcuffs. And then the fourth time I arrested him, there wasn't any real big incidents, but I took him down to a psychologist and had him have a psychological evaluation so he could get out of the military. And the fifth time I arrested him, he was still in that being psychologically evaluated. And then one day I was sitting in my office and I got a call on the telephone. He says, "Mr. Rasmussen, this is Ricky Mundy." And I said, "Ricky, have you deserted again?" And he says, no, I got a discharge." He says, "But you know what? My girlfriend had a baby, and you know what we're going to name it?" And they said they were going to name it Lee. I thought that was kind of funny.
If I wanted to be an FBI agent, would you recommend this as a career? Why?
Well, one thing is that I would recommend it as a career. Yet it's difficult to know where you're going to live because you serve wherever the Bureau wants you to serve. But you serve with real good people. You have good working conditions. It's a good income. You have to be well qualified. Otherwise, you couldn't have gotten in trouble when you were in high school or grade school. You had to have a college education. You had to have some experience in work life. And you had to pass the Bureau's entrance exam, which is pretty tough. You have to be pretty academically inclined to do that.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.